Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today, I'm going to be showing you my full foundation routine. No baking, no translucent powder. So I want to show you this because I feel like the craze today is such loose powder, baking, and all that. And I just found recently that I am oily skin. I've known that for a long time. However, my face cannot handle the baking. Even with my oily skin, it just gets kind of dry and patchy. It just doesn't look good. So I showed you guys everything that I do step by step, from down to priming, color correcting, foundation, concealer, highlight, my contour, everything. So I hope you guys enjoy this routine and I'll see you guys soon. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is moisturize my face. I like to use the Dermalagcia Clear Start Matte Moisturizer. Get a moisturizer that is geared towards your skin type. This is a very, very important part, especially when doing foundation, because if you are not moisturized properly, your foundation will not go on smooth at all. So since I am oily, this is a matte moisturizer. So therefore, this will moisturize me, but at the same time, keep me matte so that way I won't get too oily. After that, I'm going to prime, and again, use a primer geared towards your skin type. I'm going to use the Cover FX Mattifying Primer. This is a really good primer. I'm liking it so far, and this also is with an acne anti-treatment in it, so, you know, that's a huge plus. And this is going to help smooth out my pores, keep me nice and matte, and make sure I don't get super, super greasy throughout the day. Next step. This is crucial, probably the most, this is definitely the most important process of my foundation routine, color correcting. So I'm brown skin, I have acne prone skin. So anytime I get, an acne or a breakout or anything, I tend to have black little marks that are just left after my acne is gone. So if you are like me and you're brown skin and you have dark spots on your face, you want to grab an orange corrector. They have so many right now. I feel like the whole beauty world is on a corrector craze, which is crazy because it's not really new, but that's okay. I'm just happy to see that they are actually paying attention to that. But this is what I've been currently using. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in orange. This one is about $2.99 and it works very, very good. It is super pigmented though, so if you're going to use this one, just make sure you go light, because if you put on too much, it's orange. It is very orange. So I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze some of this out. And I'm going to start here. And I just like to take my finger and just kind of pat it in. You see how pigmented that is? If you hear snoring, it's Murillo. He's downstairs sleeping so loud. After that, I like to go up under my eyes. I feel like when I do this, most of the time, I don't even use concealer. I'll throw on some concealer if I'm going out and I want to have a highlighted look, but just for my everyday wear, face to face for my face, I typically just color correct and move on about my business. And you can use a beauty blender, sponge, whatever you want for this. I just prefer to use my fingers. I don't know, I feel like I can get it in there better. Also, something else. If you don't need to color correct, you don't have to. I see people color correcting and I'm just like, what exactly are you correcting? You're only correcting if there is something that needs to be corrected. So if you have very, very dark circles, put it up under here. Mine aren't super dark, but every once in a while I kind of get that shadow. And then I like to go around my mouth, just simply because my mouth is darker. If dark spots are not, if they're not corrected on your face, what's going to happen is when you put on your foundation, you're going to see like a gray cast. For a while, I was like, do I have my shade wrong? But no, my shade was not wrong. It was just that the cast of the dark spot, it can kind of shine, push through the foundation. So this will just cancel that out and make sure everything is nice and even toned. Alright, so all color corrected. Next step is foundation. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD, and then choose your weapon. I like to use a damp beauty blender or a stippling brush. This is just a Real Technique stippling brush. I think I want to go with the Beauty Blender. If you're using a Beauty Blender, I don't care if you have dry, normal, oily skin, it is best to use it when it's damp, because when it's damp, I feel like you can kind of maneuver the foundation around your face and everything blends better. So I'm going to go ahead and shake it up. Use whatever foundation you want. It does not have to be this one. This was just my choice for today. And I'm just going to take one pump. Now when I do my foundation, I like to just use my finger to dab it on. And I like to start in the center of my face and then just work my way out. So just dab this on my nose, up under my eyes here. And also the Beauty Blender, some people don't like it because they feel like it soaks up all of the product. It is a sponge, and at the end of the day, yes, it does soak up product, but that is, I find, the beauty of this. It keeps you from getting a cake face. So if you're someone that tends to be a little bit heavy-handed with foundation, use a Beauty Blender, because it will definitely make sure everything stays nice and flawless. And I feel like you get more of an airbrush look. Whenever I do like my stippling brush, but no matter what, I still always go in at the end with a Beauty Blender just to kind of blend everything out, because I feel like brushes, I don't use anything other than a stippling brush, because I feel like brushes will leave your makeup streaky. That's just from my personal experience. Alright, so I have the center of my face, so now I'm just going to start working on the outside on this side here. And basically, I'm not kind of smearing it all over my face. I'm just pressing it into my skin. And very important, make sure you definitely cover all the spots for sure where you have the orange corrector. I know the first time I corrected my face and put my foundation on, when I took a picture, I could see some of the orange pushing through from where it wasn't fully covered. So just make sure you're really covering up, because you don't want to have that orange pushing through. Okay, now when I get to my forehead, I don't take it all the way up. And that is just simply because my forehead is way darker than the rest of my body, and I tend to get that ring there, so I kind of just go a little bit halfway, and then this is really where the Beauty Blender kind of takes place, because I can just kind of blend the rest of it out and it just all kind of fades. And definitely most women of color, when I say women of color, any woman that's not white, Caucasian, we have normally 2 to 3 different skin shades, tones on our face. Obviously, for most standard, most people are going to be lighter in the center and darker on the outside. I know I'm definitely like that. So like I said, I've definitely found that if I try to bring my foundation all the way to my hairline, you'll see a little bit of a line or a shadow there. So that's why I don't take it all the way up. So here's my skin so far. So moving on to the next step, the most important part, especially if you're oily skin, is going to be setting your face with powder. So typically, I Sasha Buttercup powder. I like this powder, however, I have found that recently loose powders really settle on any lines of your face that you have. So I think once it gets warmer outside, I'll go back to this, but if you are a dry skin, loose powders are they're trickier to work with. So summertime, oilier skin, dry skin, summertime, oilier skin, the loose powder is going to be my best friend. But for right now, I've switched over. I don't like loose powder right now, and I do not like baking. The reason why I don't like baking is simply because, like I said, when you bake with a loose powder, it just looks so cakey and it'll fall into any line that you have in your face, and it's just, to me, it's not very flattering. So what I've been doing is I've been using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark to set my face. When I first got into makeup, this was the first powder that I used, and I didn't like it. I don't like that on its own, but to set my face, it is bomb. So I'm going to use this to set my face, and just for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and throw some concealer on, because I feel like if I'm going to do a foundation routine, I want to show you everything as far as how I do it. So I like to use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm just going to pump this on the back of my wrist, and my shade is NC45, and I just like to take my ring finger and put this right alongside my nose. And then just make that triangle. And again, with the same damp beauty blender, I'm just going to press this into my skin. This is the only concealer that I've found that does not crease on me. I've tried the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. That didn't, I don't know. I don't think I really gave that one a fair chance. I used it one time because I felt like the prolonged wear was too mattifying and drying, but apparently it's not because, like I said, it's the only one that does not crease on me. So I think I might give the NARS a go. And I've also tried I have the MAC Moisture Select. It's like a little wand, short little tube, and that definitely creases on me. So I feel like the creasier, that's not a word, but I feel like the more creamier a concealer is, the more it creases on you. You let me know if you feel like that. That's, like I said, that's just from my personal experience, what I found. Then I'm just going to take a little bit down the center of my nose. And I still have some more product on the back of my hand, so what I'm going to do now is just dab my beauty blender in there, and I'm just going to press the rest of it in. And basically, I am just highlighting my face. I don't highlight the center of my forehead because I have a big forehead, so there's no need to highlight something that is already big and prominent on your face, you know? I don't want a 6 head. Alright, so now I have my concealer on. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and set the face. No baking. I am just going to take my setting brush. I like to start up under my eyes first. So this is just a Real Techniques small little setting brush. And I'm just going to pat this on. I like to set my concealer first. Then I will go in with my powder brush and just set the rest of my face. And I haven't had any experience with the mineralized skin finish in dark creasing on me, looking kind of dry or patchy at all. So that made me happy because the last time I set with a Sacha Buttercup powder, I didn't even bake it and it didn't look good. So I was like, we won't be using that for a minute. Alright, then after that, I'm just going to take this Eco Tools powder brush and powder the rest of my face. Oily skin girls, we have to set our face. I feel like no matter what skin type you have, if you do not set your foundation with a little bit of powder, then it will move and shift. But definitely, oily girls, we can't get away with not setting it. Nice and set. Okay, and then moving on, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do a little bronze contour. I just got the CoverGirl Queen bronzer in ebony bronze. I had to order this off of Amazon because you cannot find CoverGirl Queen products in stores anywhere. I don't know why that is, but Amazon is where I got this from. And I'm using a Sephora Must Have Angled Blush Brush, but I don't want to use it for blush. Angled brushes can be used for bronzer and blush. And I always like to tap off the excess so that way I don't have too much. And I'm just going to find, here is the center of my ear. I'm going to bring it to about right here. And of course, it pops up more on the camera than it does in my mirror. So I'm probably going to end up going a little too heavy, but that's okay. And don't bring it too far down, because when you bring it too far down, sometimes it can elongate your face, and if that's not what you're going for, if you already have more of a longer, narrow face, then I would not recommend that. But sometimes I do, you know, I get a little sloppy, and so I'll just take this e.l.f. powder brush here. It's got like its flat head, and I'll just kind of blend that out. Then same thing on this side, and I do like this bronzer. This is actually my second time using it. I just got it yesterday and I put it on yesterday and I loved it. And then same thing again. Just blend that out. And then just depending if I'm going on a more structured contour, like face beat, chiseled, I'll use this Morphe E16 brush, and it's really, really skinny, and it's got the tight bristles here. Sorry, my camera's probably taking forever to focus, and I'll use that. But I do like using this for my nose if I choose to contour my nose. I'm going to take whatever axis I have up here, and I'm just going to sweep this into my hairline. And again, taking that e.l.f. brush and just blending everything out. Now I am going to take that Morphe E16 and do a slight contouring on my nose. I really don't contour my nose that often. If I'm going out and I'm going to be photographed, then I'll do it. And I love this brush. For a while, I had a hard time contouring my nose. Contouring my nose for me is hit and miss. I think because I wasn't using the right brush. I like this brush more so for nose contouring than I do on the side. So here's how I do it. Again, taking my same powder, and I'm just going to dab it in there, tap off the excess, and then just go straight down the side of my nose. Then I like to kind of make a little triangle down at the bottom of my nose. And then after that, I'm going to take this Real Techniques, what is this, sculpting brush. And I like to pinch it. And then just to blend out that contour, just go down the sides of it. Then for extra blending, I'll just take my beauty blender again and just go straight down the center of my nose just to blend everything out a little bit more. And another trick that I do is sometimes if my contour gets a little messy, I'll take a little bit of concealer, put it on the back of my hand, take my finger again, and then just go straight down the center of my nose. And this will just help clean up if that contour came a little too close in on my nose. So I'll just put that down the center, and again, grab my brush, and just go down the center of my nose. Keep in mind that nose contouring is not universal. Everybody's face is different. Everybody's structure and nose are different. So therefore, how I contour my nose, you might do it totally different. So you just have to figure out what works for your face shape. Sun Power blush, well, it's not actually a blush, it's the mineralized skin finish, but this is the perfect blush for brown skin girls. It's not too light, it's not too dark, perfect for spring and summer. This will be my ride or die holy grail in the summertime. So I'm taking a Real Techniques blush brush, and same thing again, tap it in, get the excess, and then if you have a hard time putting your blush on, I like to smile a little and then relax, because sometimes if you just smile and put your blush on, when you relax your face, your blush will be everywhere. So just kind of smile, relax, and then put your blush on. And I like to sweep my blush going up, going back. Don't bring it down, because if you bring your blush too far down, it'll kind of make your face droopy and age you. And you don't want a droopy face. Your blush and your contour, bronzer, whatever it may be, just kind of blend seamlessly, just look like one. I don't like it when I can see the highlight, the blush, and the contour. I just kind of want everything to melt together and look as one. And then next up, this is kind of just depends on how I'm feeling. I'm not really a big highlight kind of girl. That's just simply because I already have oily skin. I got my own natural highlight going on. So it just depends on how oily I feel like my skin is that day. But I like to use the Becca highlighters with a fan brush. And I think I'm going to use... what do I want to use today? I think I'm going to use Topaz, the golden tone. Yeah. And my choice of highlighter that I typically use from Becca is either rose gold or Topaz. I do have more of a warmer skin tone, so Topaz is good. And rose gold is not too icy, frosty looking on my skin, so I like to use that one if I feel like I want to do more of a cooler tone look. But definitely Topaz is my go-to. And I like to use opal in the inner tear ducts. Then sometimes I like to put a little just right here. And I will put some down the center of my nose. I don't like it on the tip. I think that looks silly. Why would you highlight just, I don't know. I can't quite understand that, but I like to put it just straight down the center of my nose. I feel like that looks more balanced than just putting it directly on the tip of the nose. And then also what I'll do sometimes, because I guess maybe because I have a wider set nose, so I feel like if I just put the highlight on the tip of my nose, it makes it look even more wider. So if I feel like I have too much, I'll just smudge some of it off. But I don't mind it going, you know, down the center. Just not only on the tip. And that is going to complete, oh wait, no. Setting spray. Alright, because I am oily, I tend to go a little bit heavier with the powder. So I will either use the Smashbox Photo Primer Water, I'm out of that, or this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. I like this. The only thing is when I spray it, I feel like it doesn't come out properly and then it leaks. I don't know if maybe I just got a bad one, but if you have this product and you feel like yours doesn't spray out right or just kind of leaks, let me know, because I think I will repurchase it. But if that's just the way it is, then no, I won't. So set your face. And this is just going to help take away the cakiness, make sure everything stays in place, and also, once again, melt it all together as one. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my eye makeup, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I am back. So this is going to complete the finished look. For the eyeshadow, I use the Sephora Minnie Mouse palette. So if you guys want to see how I got this eye look using this palette, so dope, give me a like or comment below saying you want to see how I did it. But it's just a very, you know, kind of a sultry, smoky eye. And I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss. I am obsessed with these lip glosses. They are so bomb. And the color is vintage. So it's kind of like a, you know, a neutral baby pink. So I'll go ahead and get up close. So yeah, that is going to complete my foundation routine. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please drop them below. Don't leave me anything mean because you know I don't play that. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video.